What's up, techies? Josh here, and I'm here with my friend Bill. And if you turn your camera around, you'll see him on the other side. We're given a couple different perspectives about the Google Pixel. These are actually two Pixel XLs that we got both from the Google Play Store. And one is perspectives from myself and Bill, but also just the actual little perspective of having a 360 camera. I thought this would be a cool experience to kind of have like a table talk conversation about the Pixel. Two different kind of users. I'm a heavy user. Bill's more like a moderate user, and to just try to give you guys that kind of perspective, our experience from it, and just not necessarily go over like specs and things like that, but how has the phone treated us versus like, is this an amazing phone or is this complete trash, regrets, all that kind of stuff. So with that said, my background with this is that this is my second device. I sent back an RMA, the first one, because I had the real big issue with the camera's halo defect. It was so bad that like anytime I take a picture, it seemed like I'd have to readjust really bad just to get a good photo, not so much a video. I've put up some examples, and it's not a secret about that kind of defect. So I heard so many other people that they didn't have that issue. So I was like, maybe if I send this one back, I can get another one that isn't affected. And this one, I almost have to try to get it. So I would say that this one is not nearly as bad. There's been times where I had to adjust a little bit, but not nearly as much as before. I know Bill, when I was like, we were at church one day and I was like, let me see your phone because I got to see if yours is having the same issue. And I was trying to get a halo effect and I couldn't get it. And then I busted out mine and I was like, bam, it was right there. So that's my little background between that. Other than the camera issue, the only other problem I've had is actually connecting to my MacBook. Usually Android file transfer works great. That's how I get all my kind of files, photos, or anything like that off of my phone to the computer so I can use it for whatever use. And I've had issues with that. And actually Droid Modder X has had the same issue. So I hope that that gets fixed. I don't know if it's an Android file host, or not file host, but file transfer issue, or if it's the Pixel issue, or they just have a compatibility problem that they both need to work out. But other than the halo and then the connectivity with the computer, that's really been my only issue. Everything else has been phenomenal other than the price. And that's just like the elephant in the room. Bill and I this week were like, are you returning yours? Are you going to try to sell it? Are you keeping it? What other options are there? And it just comes down to the point where we're like, pretty much just going to keep it because, or at least that's where I'm standing at this point. I don't know if we've both flip-flopped like 100 times.
I came to that point a couple of times during the week, and just really, I've got it now. Mm-hmm. I could probably flip it and even make a little on it.
Right.
But I am pleased with the phone.
Right.
It's an excellent experience. I guess just the 7 point, what is it now? 7.1.
You get 7.1.
Yeah. It's great. The experience is so smooth. It's a joy to use, really. The only time I've had two situations now, two apps specifically that have given me a little bit of trouble. One, my Verizon app closed, stopped running. And I'm sure I just got a little widget that shows me my data usage so I stay out of trouble. And I think that stopped. And then most recently, I've actually had trouble with Snapchat. I'll open it up, and I think it updated this morning, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And so when it opens, it's just a black screen.
I had an issue with the Moto Z Droid. When I had that, I was having issues with that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a Snapchat thing that they just need to update to each phone.
Well, for what it's worth, I did do a restart, so I haven't used it since then. That was just a few minutes ago. But that's certainly not life-changing, or yeah. I mean, I can make it through the day without that. So, but other than that, I mean, you talked about the trouble with the halo. Mm-hmm. I've experienced it one time, and that may have been unavoidable due to the situation. Right. It was dark outside, street light. It's like a kind of a fair setting, so may have just been unavoidable completely. Right. But anyhow, the picture quality may actually have helped save this phone, because one afternoon this week, like Josh had said, I finally came to a point where I was like, is it really worth the money?
Right.
Is it worth the money? And I say, you know what? I think I could get something close enough that I'd be happy with otherwise. So I ended up calling Google back and I said, will you take it back? And and the short of it says they said no. I was outside my 15-day remorse period. Thanks for rubbing it in. Um, but really,
Did
it
they really
is
say
worth
remorse
it.
period?
They did say remorse period, so
That's-
thank you for that. Aptly named.
That's funny.
But anyhow, later that same night, our little 2-month-old was sleeping, and my wife calls me into the room. She's like, "Hey, look at this, look at this." So I took a couple of quick little snapshots.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good. And she's like, "No, why are you getting rid of this phone again?" And I said, "Oh God, I'm not. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it."
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I'm gonna hang on to it. I did actually reveal to her what the final ticket price after the extended warranty on
Ask
it
for
and
forgiveness
taxes.
later kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And so no, that was actually, this has probably been less than an hour ago. So I told her what I paid. And she like pasted against the wall of the car. And I'm like, look, it's the same thing we're paying for the iPhone 7 Plus. You just spread yours out over 2 years.
That's funny.
So. Anyhow, the price is a pill to swallow.
It
No
really is.
joke.
It really is.
But man, it is a joy to use.
Yeah.
Overall, it feels good. We were just talking the S7 Edge I had before is heavy.
Right.
Again, excellent experience, but physically a weight in my pocket.
And the software experience is a lot better on this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying there were flaws per se with the 7 Edge or any other Samsung phone, the Note 7 that I had, but when you are coming from that to something like this, you like notice how much quicker stuff opens up and how much smoother it is.
And it seems like the user interface that what is it, TouchWiz? Is that okay? So that interface is, to me, is bulky, and laggy. When you use this phone, those are two words you will not use to describe it.
You won't see lag at all.
It's lightning fast and just works every time.
Yeah, just I mean, I can open up, let's say, photos, and it's all web-based, but look how fast.
Absolutely. And something else I've noticed, I've been using the split screen functionality here recently, and that loads ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
I mean, to have two things going at once.
And you do that by just long pressing the recents button. It's really simple.
Yeah, it's been great. And what functionality?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I do my bank statement. I open up
just
my.
when you go to, it's the same idea like with a computer. Like
Just
you're a
multiple
lot
windows.
more functional and effective when you're able to look at two screens. Like if you need to look over here to reference something.
Right.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
that's been a great utility.
I got my Daydream VR yesterday, so that even helps solidify keeping the Pixel more. And I released that video this morning, and let me tell you, like, it is so much better than any other VR headset that I've used. It's better than the Gear VR or any other kind of cardboard. So that alone, I'm not saying it's like it justifies the price or having a Pixel, but it definitely helps feel better about having it because you're able to have like the best of what there is right now.
Right.
Like the resolution on the Daydream is so much better than anything else I've used. So it's like, that's kind of like but using that as an example, I mean, you got the best software, just the OS period. You got the best VR experience now. As far as like mobile, I'm not talking about like the PlayStation or the Vive and all that kind of stuff. But just some other final thoughts before we kind of close this video out is like, a lot of people compare this like to looking like an iPhone, but I feel like it's more like the HTC. And just a little quick point that I wanted to bring up about that is like it feels more like an HTC 10 Google Play Store edition. Back in the day, they used to release the kind of Google Play Store side of whatever flagship phone was out there. And HTC was definitely one of those phones that did that. And it's not a bad thing. Like the build quality is fantastic on this phone. The two-tone thing doesn't bug me much as much as I thought it was going to. It's like, whatever, but I usually always have a case on mine anyways. And just a little plug in for that, I'm gonna have quite a few case reviews coming out individually this time. Last couple times I've done like a collective whatever about the device, but I've got OtterBox, Cruiser Light, a few others that'll be coming in as well. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, like I've enjoyed using the phone. Let me say this, in case you haven't seen the VR, if you are going to get the VR, use that. It's definitely worth getting the 128 gig model because you're going to be downloading those VR apps, and that's going to start taking up some space. I'm not sure if it's going to take up a bunch, but it's going to be apps that you normally wouldn't have on a phone or a device if you weren't going to be using the VR. So just keep that in mind. It's definitely worth having that. And if you have the 32 gig model, you're going to have to manage your space just a little bit more, which is fortunate with the free, unlimited, full resolution,
That's very
4K
important.
and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like good experience. I've enjoyed it. I would recommend it for people that are just wanting the pure Android experience that, you don't want any kind of software skins on it. You want the latest and greatest. It's a great phone. It is hard to swallow that huge price tag, but overall it's justifiable with all of the perks and the pros about what the Pixel is about. I get a full length review over at the blog. I'll leave a link down in the description with that. I'll go into a lot more detail about this. So again, click on that link down below in the description. Bill, any last final thoughts about it?
It just occurred to me when you were talking about no extra frills. I think you do realize you are getting what you pay for.
Yeah.
I'm not having to pay for any ridiculous extra stuff.
Yeah.
I'm getting the straight ahead.
You don't need an adapter to use a headphone jack for.
Well, that's true. That's true. Oh yeah. Well, USB-C. Holla at your boy. That's something I've been having to get used to. But anyhow, no. It's good to go. I don't have any reservation about the device and the phone itself. Impeccable.
I will say this, like on my unboxing video, I said I was going to try to go full Google apps and everything, like Google Keyboard, the launcher, all that kind of stuff. That didn't last very long. Unfortunately, Nova Launcher, which I have right here, this is how I set up my device. I've really enjoyed the slide up. That's just something I've gotten used to using, but also it's got all the shortcuts. You can long press all these apps here and you get these shortcuts to get to stuff. I've used that quite a bit for my phone, like when I need to clock in for work and stuff like that. So that's where the Pixel shines, is the software. And I know that's Nova Launcher, but they have it on Pixel Launcher as well.
Right.
That's where it really shines, and that's like the experience has been really good.
Absolutely.
But I mean, do I recommend going out and buying it? If you want the latest and greatest, if you want pure Android
It's there
experience, if you want the latest software updates, all that kind of stuff is definitely for you. Premium device, it's worth getting. It, find some stuff you can sell at the house to make up the difference, and go ahead and get it. I'll leave those links down below in the description as well. Black Friday, I know Verizon that they're going to have some pretty good sales, including the Pixel. I think like $10 a month for the 2-year contract if you want to go that route. So that's a pretty good price. If you're hung up on the price, that's probably one of the cheapest ways to go, is to go with the contract way.
Let me throw this out there too. I actually went their Google financing route because they offered interest free. That's no different than the Edge plan, or not. Well, it's not Edge now, but 2-year device payment plan, whatever the going vernacular is on that. I don't know that it wouldn't have been easier. I know Verizon may hold back slightly on the updates, but it probably would have been a little bit easier.
But they've been good with the updates so far, from what I've read.
Well,
like they've pushed
better.
out updates. So.
Didn't you say they were better than?
Yeah, they pushed out an update before this one. It wasn't. I think it was like the security patch and like some Bluetooth connectivity kind of stuff. But yeah, it's been good.
So I don't have a problem with it. It's a great device. I dig it.
With that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Hit a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Pardon the wind at this moment. It's been cooperating with us up until this point. If you enjoyed this 360 experience, let me know down in the comments as well. I think it was worth trying to do. Me and Bill tried to do this a few days ago, and the camera was just failing. And it's working so far, so I'm happy about that. We didn't have to
We're gonna
start over or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like if it didn't work this time, I was just gonna have to go back to the other way, the traditional fun camera way, which would have been fine. I'll probably still going to do that with like a follow-up review in a couple weeks just to see if the experience is still that good. But anyways, thanks again for watching the video. Thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss any more videos like this. And until then, stay techie.